It's Dr. Gordon coming at you from Facebook Friday with special guest star Sherry Schoolfield, our phlebotomist here at Southeastern. Sherry, we're so happy that you agreed to join us under only a little bit of duress. So tell me what's like to have your favorite football team win last week, because it was a sad week. Navy lost, Georgia Tech lost, and of course Clemson lost, right? And we're not going to say it too loudly, but I know that for some reason, even though you grew up in Massachusetts, right?
Yes.
You cheer for Alabama.
Yes.
Why is that?
Nick Saban. Me and him both was born in West Virginia.
Oh, okay. So all right.
Yeah.
All right. So you probably have the inside. So why does he do the Aflac commercials? He's the highest paid person in the entire state of Alabama. Why does he have to do Aflac? We must like the duck.
He liked the
Is
duck.
it duck? What is it? Goose or something.
Whatever it is, right.
That's right. So that's right. So that's why it's the West Virginia connection. So really,
West Virginia connection.
Really. So it's not just because Alabama has amazing football tradition where they won and all that. It's really just Nick Saban.
It's all about Nick and
It's
West
all
Virginia.
about Nick. Well, I can see why he's such a happy-go-lucky guy. He's so happy all the time. It's great, Yeah. Anyway, well, that's good. Well, I'm glad your team won. And did Ohio State win?
Yes. They beat Minnesota.
No wonder Carol's been avoiding me, because she's so happy. Well, she's so happy. Well, it's not all about football. I mean, it's not all about football. But I am wearing my UT tie, as you see, right? Because and they did win.
They
did win because didn't they play like a girls' school or something?
It was like a high school.
Or a school for the blind or something. I don't know. But they won, which was good. It's a good way to start your coaching career there at UT. But it's okay, and we're happy for them. And I was actually over at UT today because Dr. Keenan and I, of course, are faculty members at UT.
Right.
And it was interesting as we were talking about sort of the residency, which we're talking about experiences. So how many years have you been doing phlebotomy?
Since 1999.
1999. Okay, so you're very good at phlebotomy. And I, as someone who's had my arm stuck by this woman, let me tell you, she is awesome. And these patients it's rough, right? Getting your blood drawn all the time. And they're always like, well, Sherry always can find this little vein right here. And it's like you've got x-ray vision or something. You can just home in on that, right? So when you have experience, how important is that?
It's very experienced. It's very important. Right. Very, very important, because you want the patients to feel comfortable.
Right.
When I get in my chair, that's the main thing.
That's right.
I want them to feel comfortable anytime they sit down.
Right. And so that experience, let me tell you, you go get your blood drawn, the phlebotomist is like kind of shaking as they come with that needle. You want to say, excuse me, I'll come back another day. Right?
That's right.
Right. So it is incredibly important, and to have you here as that resource for the patient, how wonderful is that? Because nobody likes to get stuck.
Right. It's awesome.
So that level of experience is important. So as we were meeting with the residents today, we were sort of talking about the resident experience in OBGYN and particularly in reproductive endocrinology. So residency in OBGYN do you know how many years it is? 4 years. Okay, so 4 years of training in OBGYN, right? So when I was at Stanford, back when dinosaurs ruled the earth, okay? So as a Stanford resident in OBGYN, I did 6 weeks of REI as a reproductive endocrine and fertility as a second-year resident. I did 6 weeks of REI as a third-year resident, and I did 3 months of REI as a chief resident. So you can come in and deliver. Okay, great. All right, because it's
another special guest. Yeah.
It's Sherry's lunch.
Well done.
That's right.
Well done.
John's all right. So that was 6 weeks, and then 3 months as a chief. 3 months consecutive. So the chief resident, you were on the RI service for 3 straight months, and you did all the ultrasounds for the patients doing IVF and did all the monitoring visits, including weekends. You came in and did those scans, even when you weren't around for the weekend. Right. So that's very different. So now, compare and contrast that, because we're talking with the department. So many departments around the country have residents rotate out of their 4 years of OBGYN training. Do you know how many months they do REI in many programs?
I don't.
A single month.
Wow.
And in fact, in many places, mandated vacation during that month. So 3 weeks. So 3 weeks of repro endo training in your entire 4 years of OBGYN residency.
Not much.
Yeah, and then you go out, and you go into practice, and you have your business cards printed out, and what do they always say? They say on their business cards, obstetrics, gynecology, infertility. 3 weeks of training. Would you go to a phlebotomist who has had only 3 weeks of training? You would not. You want a phlebotomist with 21 years of experience, right? So that's a huge difference. And so many of the patients are confused. They don't understand, like, well, the doctor said this or did this. And I'm just like, well, maybe there's not a lot of experience there, right? But you fall into that trap, right? I'm comfortable with my OBGYN. I like my OBGYN. I trust my OBGYN. And we're not immune to that. I mean, we're all human. And so when I, during the pandemic, decided, well, if I'm wearing a mask, why not get my braces done? I mean, I've been annoyed that after being a terrible orthodontia patient as a teenager, I was paying for it now. My teeth were starting to shift. And so I went, and my general dentist, who I love, is a great dentist, said, we can do the orthodontia work. You can do the little Invisalign type thing. It's like an Invisalign rip-off, okay? But it wasn't going right. And the stupid little trays kept splitting, and he was sort of scratching his head. And he said, well, we could do this, or we could do that. And I said, well, I don't want to go to the orthodontist. I don't know why I didn't start with the orthodontist. I mean, I'm a relatively smart person. And so I reached out to the orthodontist, and I went in, and he said, well, you could do that, but this is much better. Let's do traditional braces on the bottom. We can do the clear align things on the top. And basically 6 months you'll be done. I'm like, wow. I was going to be a year in these stupid clear trays, both top and bottom, 23 hours a day wearing the things. And I went right to him, and he's like, no, this is the right thing to do. How did he know how to do that? Experience, right? Experience. So you, as an incredibly experienced phlebotomist, know that's the right vein to stick that needle in. I know that vein works. I know this one doesn't. I know this is the muscle and not the vein. I don't have to go rooting around in there. I mean, that experience is worth so much. And I think also in infertility, go with the experience.
That's right.
I mean, go with the experience. Your OBGYN may be great, and they're great people, and some of them can handle some basic, but think about that. These days, they're coming out with 3 weeks of infertility training out of 4 years. I mean, that's not a lot. That's not a lot. So that's the type of thing that you need to think about. And, you don't get to be a Nick Saban with 3 weeks of coaching experience, right? Right?
That's right.
You've got to have that experience. You've got to actually have paid your dues and understand what you're doing. So I think that when we think about experience, I think about you, and I think, man, if Sherry can't draw them, they may be dead. We should check a pulse test. So you can't get blood out of anybody. So it's wonderful that you're part of the team. What a great addition. It's so important for our patients. So go to the experience. Present your arm to Sherry, knowing that she's got you covered, and you can tell her that you understand now why she cheers for Alabama. It's really not Alabama. It's just she likes Nick Saban. So that's all right.
That's right.
Go Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
I didn't say that.
Yes,
I didn't say that. I don't want that on art. Cut that out of the film. I don't want that on record. All right. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy this beautiful weather. I'm on call, of course, because it's beautiful. But everyone out there, have a great, great weekend.